Hi, I'm Margaret and welcome to Garden School. Today we're going to talk about cleaning up our outdoor evergreen ferns, just grooming them a little bit and preparing for spring. We're going to cut back the old fronds that have overwintered, and then we'll cut them back down to the ground, and then we will see the new little fiddleheads and the new fronds that are starting to come up. That'll give our garden a little bit of a cleanup look, and it'll be exciting to watch those fronds as they unfurl. Well, I wanted to just mention that ferns are vascular plants. They have a vascular system, but they're not flowering plants. They produce spores. So they have two parts in their life cycle. The sporophyte, which is the one that looks like a fern, that produces spores on the back of the frond usually. And those spores will then germinate to produce the gametophyte, and the gametophyte is the one that has the male and the female organs, and with fertilization then you get a new little plant, and that will grow to be the sporophyte. Well, what we're going to do right now is we're going to groom up our sporophytes, clean that up a little bit so that it looks a little bit neater. I did want to mention the class that the ferns belong to is Polypodiopsida, okay? Multisyllable. Polypodiopsida. So let's get our pruners and let's go and find a couple of ferns. Do some demonstration. So I've got here a nice fern that I keep in a container because it's kind of a specialty fern, and I did pay a little bit of money for it. So I want to keep track of it. But I've also got some dead fronds here that I want to take off. And then this last year's frond, I'm going to just cut everything back. And you see, I'm really not cutting to the ground. I'm cutting to this bundle of fronds that's actually above the ground. But that is where the new fronds will come from. So I'm just going to take all of these off, clean it up really nicely, and it'll, it's like after you get a haircut, you feel a little awkward for a little while, and then, yeah, it becomes good. So it'll look a little bit, maybe forlorn, a little bit, for not too long, because I'm going to show you here that on this other side, I can see the fiddleheads, those new little fronds that are starting to unfold. So I'm going to clean this all up, and there will be a lot more fronds that are coming up from this, and we'll be able to enjoy that. Now let's go look at another fern. So here is a sword fern that has just decided to volunteer right in between these big boulders on the very edge of the patio. So it's fine growing there, I love it, but I'm going to take all those fronds down and I'll show you what it's going to look like after. Okay, this is the after picture, really cleaned up, but within a week or two, maybe even less than that, we will see a lot of growth coming up from these fiddleheads here. They're so soft, just like a little animal's foot. So cute. Here's another fern that I keep in a container. This is a bronze fern, and the foliage can look really beautiful. And as the new foliage comes out, it will all be that beautiful bronzy color. Well, I'm going to cut these sorry looking fronds off, and then we'll take a look after the haircut. Okay, here's after the haircut. I left that one little tiny frond on, but this also has some really nice fiddleheads that are coming up. This is going to be beautiful. Now, in nature, yeah, we wouldn't take, the fronds don't get clipped off, and that does provide some habitat for animals and for wildlife. That's great, and that's beautiful. I'm going for a little bit more groomed look here. Well, here's another fern. This is what was called an Alaska fern when I got it from the nursery. It's really a beautiful fern. It's very hardy. So it's wintered over pretty well, but you can see these fronds here, they shouldn't be dry like that. We're going to take those off and then see what we got underneath and get ready for some new fronds. Well, that's the result on this Alaska fern. Now you see I have it in a big crock on my front porch. It doesn't look the best, but I am certainly not going to move this to another location. It's going to stay here, and I'll just be patient, and before I know it, it will have a lot of new fronds on it. Well, I have one more fern to go, and you can see I might have to put some boots on or get some help for that one. Well, that was some frondly advice about how to care for ferns in the late winter and the early spring. So let's make new fronds anyway. There's always more to learn in the garden. Bye-bye.